A lot of people see the word calculus and immediately think that we're talking about advanced math. And in calculus, there is a lot of strange looking math symbols, but the basic idea behind calculus is actually very understandable. And I think this swimming pool problem is a great example. Okay, so let's take a look at the problem. So we have this swimming pool and it is 25 feet long, 6 feet wide, and 9 feet deep. And what we're trying to do here is calculate how many gallons of water will this pool hold. But there's something unusual about this pool, and that is it has a curved bottom. Now, if the pool had a rectangular bottom or a square bottom, this would be very easy to figure out because all we would have to do is simply multiply the length times the width times the depth to calculate the volume. But because we have a curved bottom here, well, regular algebra and geometry cannot help us out. Now, this is exactly the type of problem calculus is designed to help us solve, because what we need to do here is calculate the area of the cross-section of the pool and then multiply it by the length to calculate the volume of the pool, and then finding how many gallons of water it holds will be very easy. And we can't do this with regular math. But even if you've never taken calculus before, stick with me because I'm going to show you exactly how calculus works with very simple math. So the first thing that we're going to do here is simplify the problem. So let's forget about the entire pool and let's imagine we were standing at one end of the pool looking straight at it. So we would be looking at a cross-section of the pool like this right here. So remember, the key to solving this problem is finding the area of this curved cross-section, because once we have this area, all we have to do is multiply it by 25 and we have the volume of the pool. Now, by looking at a cross-section of the pool, we would see something like this. So again, the pool is 6 feet wide and 9 feet deep, and it has this curved bottom. But if we notice here, it is symmetric. In other words, the left-hand side is a mirror image of the right-hand side. And this is important because now I want to talk about this equation right here, y is equal to x squared. All right, so this is a basic algebra equation that describes this curve. All right, so don't let this intimidate you. This is very easy. Okay, so again, this image has symmetry. In other words, from the center of the pool down here in the bottom, this is 3 feet, and then from here it's also 3 feet. So what this equation tells us is that when we have the width of this part of the curve to get the height, all we have to do is square it. So from here to here, this is 3 feet, so the height is going to be 3 squared, or 9. And then, of course, anywhere along this curve, we can calculate the height if we have the width. So this is just basic algebra in terms of describing this curve. Okay, now this is going to be very important here because we're going to be using calculus not to find the area of this entire region right here. And this is what we need to solve the problem. But the way we're going to figure out the area of this cross section is to first find the area of this rectangle. So we have this rectangle here that is 6 by 9. And this is very easy to find the area because the answer is literally 6 times 9. And then what we're going to do is calculate the area underneath this curve right here, and this is where we're going to use our calculus, and we can easily calculate this area using this equation and simple math and calculus. And then this part right here, this area is the same as this area, and once we have the area of these two parts, we can subtract it away from this entire rectangle, and that leaves us with the area of our cross section. Okay, so this is going to be our strategy, and again, I'm going to be using very simple math here to calculate the area underneath this curve. Okay, so let's go ahead and focus on one side of this curve, because what we're trying to do again is find the area underneath this curve, and there's no need to find this area because this area and this area are identical. So once we get this answer, all we have to do is double it to find the total area underneath this curve. Okay, so this is where calculus is going to come into play, and actually what we're looking at right here is calculus, and this is going to tell us the area underneath this curve. All right, now if you've never taken calculus before, this probably looks very intimidating, but it's actually very easy to understand. So don't let this notation throw you off. So this symbol in calculus is called an integral, and it tells us the area underneath any curve. Now what curve do we have? Well, we have the y equals x squared curve. So what we're saying here in calculus is, hey, give me the area underneath the x squared curve starting from 0. Now remember, this pool is 6 feet wide, but we're only finding the area of 1/2 of the curve. So we're going to start from 0 out to 3, which is the edge of the pool. So we're going to start from 0 going out to 3, and we're going to find the area underneath this curve. All right, so this is what this calculus notation is saying, and if you understand this, to actually calculate the answer will only require some surprisingly easy math. So let's get into some basic calculus, and what we're going to be doing here is something called integration, and all that is finding the area underneath curves. Now remember, the curve that we're talking about here is x squared, and we want to find the area underneath this curve starting from 0 going out to 3. Okay, so how do we do this calculation? Well, it's very, very easy. So in calculus, there are a lot of rules, and many are very simple, and this one right here is actually very easy to understand. So what we're going to do is take this x squared, and this power here, this is what we call an exponent of 2, and we're going to take 2 and add 1 to it. So 2 plus 1 is what? Well, that is 3. So instead of x squared, we have x cubed. All right, so now that we have this answer, 3, we're going to divide the entire power by the answer. So now we have x cubed divided by 3. All right, so this is a rule in calculus, and let me go ahead and repeat this again because this is super easy. So whatever this number is, we're going to add 1 to it, and then once we have our answer, we're going to divide the entire power by our answer. Okay, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so now we're going to divide the entire power by 3. All right, so now we have x cubed over 3, and these numbers here are going to be our x values, 0 and 3. So to calculate the area underneath this curve, what we're going to do here is plug in 3 for x right here and 0 for x right here, and then we're going to subtract these answers. And when we do this simple math, we'll get the actual area underneath this curve. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this calculation, and again we're dealing with integration. So remember, we're finding the area underneath the curve x squared starting from 0 going out to 3. So this 3 right here is going to be plugged in where this x was, and then this 0 right here is going to be plugged in where this x was. Remember, when we did this integration, we got x cubed over 3. So all we're doing here is replacing this x either with a 3 or a 0. All right, so let's go ahead and do this math here. So we have 3 cubed is what? Well, that is 3 times 3 times 3, or 27. So now we have 27 divided by 3 minus 0 to the third power, which is 0, and 0 divided by 3 is 0. So this goes away. So our final answer is going to be 27 divided by 3, or 9. Okay, so what is this? Well, this is the actual area underneath this curve. It's going to be 9 feet squared. So remember, the dimensions we're dealing with are feet, so our area is going to be in feet squared. But remember, we have to find the total area underneath this curve. So this part right here is the same area as this part. So our total area underneath this curve is 18 feet squared. All right, so remember what we're going to do here to calculate the area of our cross section. This right here is to find the area of the rectangle, which is 9 times 6 feet, or 9 feet times 6 feet. And then we're going to get that area of this entire rectangle and subtract away these parts right here. And once we do that, we'll have the area of our cross section. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue forward here. So 9 times 6 will give us the area of that rectangle, so that's going to be 54. And then remember, our curved section was 9 feet squared, but we need to double that to get the total area, so that's going to be 18. So 54 minus 18 is going to be 36 feet squared. That is the area of this right here, the cross section of the pool. Okay, so we are almost there to getting the final answer. Now let's just kind of go back to our original figure here. So what we just did is calculate the area of this cross section of the pool, the end of the pool, and that turned out to be 36 feet squared. So all we have to do to find the volume of the pool is take this area and multiply it by 25. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. So 36 feet squared, again, that's the area of the cross section of the pool. We're going to multiply that by 25 feet. So we have to pay close attention to our units of measure here. So feet squared times feet is going to give us feet cubed, which is volume. All right, so our answer here is going to be 900 feet cubed. Okay, so now that we know that the pool is 900 cubic feet, we need to answer the question, and that is how many gallons of water goes into this pool. So we need to go from cubic feet to gallons. And 1 cubic foot is approximately 7.48 gallons. All right, so to get our final answer, all we have to do is take 900 and multiply it by 7.48. So our final answer is 6,732 gallons. Okay, so the goal of this video was not to teach you calculus, but to try to demystify the subject, because there are certain types of math problems that basic algebra and geometry simply can't solve, and we need calculus. So if you understood everything in this video, I definitely have to give you a nice little happy face and an A+. Great job. Now, if you're interested in learning math, or maybe you're taking algebra or geometry, or you need to review basic math, make sure to check out all my math courses. You can find links to those in the description of this video. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, so with all that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your math adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.